looking at the body of work and knowing that's all me, and there's no one else to thank but me and the team, obviously, that I hire to get involved in stuff as well, and the other creative looks into it. But yeah, I'd say it's rewarding seeing your body of work at the end, the finished piece, and knowing it's all self-made.
Hi KLAT, my name's Niques and this is my Get to Know Me with KLAT.
My favourite memory, I was sat on the beach one day, down Barry, nowhere special, just a bit of Barry. And we were sat there all day. I could see a boat in the distance in the sea, like this little yacht thing. And it had like all the water sports attached to it. It looked really, really exciting and fun. And all day I was there like, oh, I want to go on that boat. Really, really want to go on that boat. And my friends were like, well, how are you going to get there? And I was like, well, I could swim there. And they're like, that's far. You can't swim to that boat, you know? So I was like, oh, well, you never know. You know, God loves a tryer. I think I'm pretty strong at swimming. So I'm going on, it's like an hour or two's passed and I haven't stopped going on about like, oh, do you think I'd make it? Like, do you think? And then one of the boys said, he's like, do you know what? Sick and tired of listening to you going on. Just swim to it. If you want to go on the boat, go on the boat. So I was like, all right. So all I needed is just a bit of attitude, push me to go. So I got up, I was like, anyone want to swim to the boat with me? My friend's missus just met her. She was like, yeah, I will. And I was like, can you swim? And she was like, yeah. I was like, are you strong though? She was like, yeah. So we swim out to this boat. Bear in mind, it's pretty far, like pretty far. I don't know how I done it. Got halfway, my friend's like, should we go back? And I'm like, no, that's not go back. Like the boat is literally closer than the beach. I'm like, we can just swim there. If we make it to the boat, we can get a lift back. And then we don't have to burn our energy off. So I'm swimming the whole way. I'm like, hey, hey, hey. They cannot hear me until I'm like a meter away from them. And I'm like, excuse me. They're all out of breath. Rough as chips as well, and they're like really posh doctors, surgeons. Of course, you got a boat, like you need some good job to have a boat, don't you? So I'm there, I got my sunglasses still on my head, where I forgot to take them off. I'm there like struggling for life, because after swimming that far out against the Severn current, you're out of it. They left us on the boat, like it'd be rude not to. Otherwise I was like, can you let me on the boat? Otherwise, can you give me a lift back to the beach at least? So we go on this boat now. Like, do you want to go on the rubber dinghy thingy that we pull along on the boat? I'm like, yeah, that's why I swam, yeah, of course I do. So I jumps on, on the boat, goes on the rubber dinghy. They're not taking it easy because they're thinking, she's just swam, yeah, she's desperate to have a go. So let's just, you know, take her for a right ride. I'm on this rubber dinghy. Guess what happened to me? Like, it wasn't embarrassing enough asking them to go on it and swim it from the beach. We're all like pulling along now. There's like 4 of us on this. It's not like they're a distance from me. Like there's 4 people on this with me. They're pulling me along. Next thing you know, what flies off? My bikini bottoms. Flew off, had to catch them with my big toe. I'm holding on for life with my big toe, far out in the sea now. I can't even see the beach at this stage. I'm like, oh my days, what am I gonna do? They see it all. I was like, I'm gonna have to let go. So I'm deep out in the ocean now, let go, and then I'm just there like, oh, I can't go back commando, not to a beach. Like, how would that look, pulling up to a beach, half naked, like walking up the beach? I thought, I can't. So I held on with my one toe, and then I was like, they're gonna fly off, and then I'm gonna be done, so I had to let go. Yeah, they come and got me, and they was like, I was like, did you see? They was like, that was so embarrassing. I was just like, oh God. And that was, yeah, that's one of my best memories. Even though it was an embarrassing one, the courage it took to swim to him in the first place, and then the memory it left me with, oh my days, yeah, that's my favorite memory. Yeah, my music journey to date have been really, really exciting. I think with the little I've done, and how far I've come on my own without a team is very, very rewarding. Looking around at other artists who got their team, who got funding, who got people backing them. And then I look at myself and I'm like, do you know what, girl? You got your car, you got your house, and you're paying for your studio time yourself, and you're doing it respectfully. Like there's some people out there that, you know, have it all given to them or have things easier. So I feel like my music career, looking at the body of work and knowing that's all me and there's no one else to thank but me and the team, obviously, that I hire to get involved in stuff as well, and the other creative looks into it. But yeah, I'd say it's rewarding seeing your body of work at the end, the finished piece, and knowing it's all self-made. If I could collaborate with any artist, it would probably be Rihanna, because she is an absolute boss. She's a queen, and she's like one of the most successful. She goes around herself with a good bunch, you know, strive with them. And J. Cole, love J. Cole. He's just so real. There's a song for every emotion, every mood, love it. My best piece of advice would be, do what scares you. Step out of your comfort zone. Because pain is power. So, you know, when you're on your down days and you're just like, I don't want to do this, that's when you got to do it the most. And it's mainly the things that you object to doing are the things that take you out of your comfort zone. And it's because you're out of your comfort zone where that fear comes from. But you're not going to grow or adapt or get any better as a person if you don't go through those trials and tribulations. So I feel like whatever scares me in life, I go and do. For example, I'm scared of the sea, even though I swam to that boat, I know. But because I'm scared of the sea, one day I'm gonna buy a boat and I'm gonna go sailing. I was scared to like go places on my own. So I started traveling the world and going on my own. Because I thought if I wait for my friends, I'm never gonna see the world. And not only that, you just put blocks on yourself. Like do you notice sometimes people will say to you, careful doing that. Oh, this might happen, or I couldn't do that. Like, imagine this. Some people are scared to even get on a plane. They're like, oh, what if it crashes? They're putting those obstacles there. And then I think it's really selfish when people try and put that on you as well, when you tell them something good you're doing or something positive or a fear you're overcoming. I find people are quick to try and put their energy and that negativity onto you, to be like, oh, but what about this? What about that? No, do what scares you. Do what scares you, because you will upgrade yourself. It's like, it gets bad before it gets good, don't it? So yeah, complete all your fears. Don't do anything in life and have to look back on yourself and be like, why didn't I do that? Because that is the worst feeling ever, thinking the what if instead of, why didn't I just face it? So yeah, that's my advice. I am a foodie. I love my food. I think it's a bit selfish to choose one meal as well, because there's so many good meals. But my go-to would be a Sunday roast, and it's Sunday today. What are the chances? If it weren't a Sunday roast, mind I'm raging if I don't have one on a Sunday. It's like a religious spin for me to have a Sunday roast. And if I see other people having Sunday roasts, and I'm looking at their stories or looking on socials, everyone there eating a Sunday roast, and I'm going, oh, I'm so angry. I'm so moody, that's when I'm a bin egg. But yeah, a Sunday roast, if not, steak or lamb. Gotta love a steak, gotta love the lamb. But you know what I hate? When you go somewhere, the steak's on point, but their peppercorn sauce is lacking. What is that about? Like, they don't season the peppercorn sauce. Do you know, sometimes you've got to hit right, haven't it? But then some people don't put enough like peppercorns in it to make it, you know? I don't want to forget my morals and my respect and love for people, and who helped me on my journey as well, because that's important. Like, I was at an award ceremony one day, and everyone who got awarded was like saying their speech at the end, like, oh, thank you, da 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 da. There was only one person out of all of them who remembered to thank God. And I was like, he got you here, and you haven't even thanked, like, there was only one person. And I went up to that girl afterwards and I said, I respect you for even, like, you know, the first person you said thanks to was God, and I think that's really important as well. So, yeah. Can't remember what the question was. If I could do anything. God, right. I'm gonna say like a few things in mind, because there's a lot of things I'm gonna manifest in that. I'm gonna have an island one day, mark my words. I'm gonna grow fruit and veg and be like a little hippie on my island. But one thing I'd do, if someone could say right now, what would you want to do? Jump out of a plane. I've always wanted to do it. And I've always wanted to, right, so I got this theory, yeah? Jump into the new year every year. out of a plane, yeah? Imagine that. You're jumping into the new year, yeah? It's gonna happen. And then, do you know after 25 jumps, you can jump on your own. So the 25th year, go somewhere big, like, you know, they all go to Dubai and that, but I don't know if there's anywhere prettier. They do it for that little pattern, don't they? What's it called? That's so bad, I should know. Well, they all skydive over it. But I was thinking, if I do 25 jumps, find someone who's willing to give up their New Year's for 25 years as well to jump out of a plane and jump. But I think if I found some like cool sky people who jumps out of planes, they'd be so up for that. They'd be like, I'm jumping into the new year every year. But on the 25th, you've done 25 jumps, you can jump on your own and it could be somewhere beautiful. So yeah, that's one of the things I do. Is it weird to say I got a favourite book I haven't read yet? It's interesting. Do you want to know more about this book? What's even more interesting? I was watching this documentary. This documentary was on about like consciousness and like all health, nature, and how it all intertwines into each other, all this stuff. So right now I'm like reading this I'm watching this documentary, and they mentioned this book, and the guy in the documentary said, my father found the book, ripped it up to shreds, said I'm not allowed to read this book. So straight away I'm like, ah. Now this documentary only shown you a tiny little corner of the book, so you can only see different shades of blues. And he said the name, and he said the author and the name of the book, and I was just like, okay, I need to find this book. Like, why did your dad rip it up? Why? Why are you not allowed to read it? Like, what is in that book? So I'm searching and searching and searching for this book. It took me ages because they only said like little bits about it. They didn't show the full page. So I'm searching for it. The book that's coming up that I'm finding is discontinued. You can't find it anywhere. There's only a certain amount left. So I'm calling up all these libraries now. Have you got this book? No. Have you got this book? No. This book's going, I'm not even joking. This book is about $2.5 grand. Why is a book so much money? Why is your dad ripping it up? And why is it, you know, such a mystery? And why is it discontinued? Why did they discontinue this book? Like, knowledge is power, why? So that made me even more curious. Searching, I thought, I'm not paying £2,000 for a book. Like, I could read it and it could teach me nothing, you know? But at the same time, I was like, this book has value. So either way, you buy this book or find this book, you're gonna have something valuable, because it's obviously worth a lot, whatever it is in there. So all the ones online, the PDFs online, all of them were missing information. And I'm like, why are they taking it? Why is this information too, you know? So I'm looking, I'm searching, and then I find this book in like Chesington, this little library. Don't think they knew what they were holding on to. So I'm calling all the libraries, the last one, to be like, yeah, we have it. I'm like, is it intact? Yeah. I'm like, okay, what's the spine on it like? And, you know, is every page there? Yeah. I'm like, nothing crossed out. She's like, no. I'm like, oh my days, I don't want to say too much in case they're like, why? And then they Google and then they're like, you ain't having it this price now. Seeing it was like $2.5 grand. They had it up for about £202, to be exact, that number. And I was just like, okay, I'm moan about spending a fiver on a book, like on a normal day. I'll moan about going to the library for a book, if I'm honest, because of the time and the effort, you know? These days, you just wait until, you know, you swap books with someone, or if you're really into a book, you'll buy it online, this and that. But not £202. Anyway, ordered this book. It's come, but I've still not opened it. It's still in the wrapping on my shelf, and I'm waiting for the right time because I don't want it to alter the way I think, and I'm not ready to alter my brain yet and read this book. But yeah, my favourite book, it is by Charles Tart, and I'm not telling you the name. So, the most spontaneous thing I can recall doing at a very young age as well. I was 16 years old and I was really bored. I went downstairs, said to my mum, Mum, I'm bored. Like, don't know what to do. So she's like, right, go and find something to do then. And I was like, she's like, oh, like she didn't say it that nicely. She's like, I don't know, go find something to do, get out of my hair. Went upstairs, started speaking to my friend, my little pen pal friend. Me and her has been speaking like quite a while, but we've never, ever met. It was one of those mad, spontaneous meets. Talking to her, I'm like, oh, imagine like we had the money to go away. Like 16, you don't have a lot of money, you know? You're just starting out. You're just starting to think of ways to make money. More like, well, maybe a bit younger, but 16 is where you're like, right, gotta get my money, gotta get a job. Anyway, I had £100 in my account. That's all I had, £100. So I was like, okay, what can I do with this £100? Find something to do. So this girl's like, you do know you can get this coach and it can take you to other countries, and it's only like £100. I was like, really? This strange girl, never met her in my life. I was like, book it, here's my deets. She was like, what? I was like, yep, book it, let's go. Then I was like, she was like, what, we're gonna go? I was like, yeah, we'll go tomorrow. And she was like, it is for tomorrow morning. I was like, right, let's do it. She's like, what are we gonna say to our parents? I'm like, we've met before, you was in school with me, and we're going on a holiday. And she was like, is she gonna allow you? She was like 2 years older than me, so I'm like 16, she's like 18. She's like, are you gonna be allowed? I'm like, yeah, of course I am, it's fine. Goes downstairs, I'm like, Mum, I found something to do. She was like, what have you found to do? I was like, going to Amsterdam tomorrow. She was like, what? She's like, no, you ain't. I was like, well, I am. Are you gonna refund me? Because they ain't. She was like, you ain't. You're lying to me, you're lying to me. I was like, okay, I'm lying to you. I was like, we'll see. Wait. And then she sees me like walk out the door, and I'm like, right, I gotta go and get my travel insurance and gone to, you know, check everything, change my money over. And she's like, you're actually going? I thought you were just. She was like, how? Who are you going with? And I was like, with my friend. She's like, who's your friend? I'm like, you remember her from school? She came over for tea, fish fingers, back in the day, smiley faces. You don't remember that? She was like, no, you're going on your own, didn't you? I was like, no, I swear. So then I ran the girl, I was like, right, you're gonna have to meet my mum. She's not gonna believe it. She's gonna think I'm going on my own. So at this point, she's still there, like, you are not leaving the country at 16 on your own. And I was like, watch me, I will do it. I thought, you told me to find something to do. Don't go back on your word. You told me to do this. So anyway, we get on this coach. I meet this girl. We proper lied to our mums. Well, she was truthful to her mum. Fair play to her. Like, what a trooper. But I wasn't. But if you knew my mum, you'd know why. So yeah, we meet each other. We go to the coach station, Sophia Garden's finest. We jumped on the coach. On this train for, well, this coach that drove onto a train. I went for ages. It was hours anyway. Arrived in Amsterdam. Do you think I even booked anywhere? Do you think I even had any spare money for anything? No, I was just happy to have gone on this coach and arrive there and be like, I'm in Amsterdam, like at 16, like you're just on that little high. We looked at each other, we're like, where are we gonna sleep? So then we're going around loads of places, like, oh God, everything's expensive. Didn't notice how expensive this city is. So we're walking in loads of places. What's your cheapest room? Way out of my price range. I was like, oh God. I'm messaging my mum like, I've run out, I've messed up already. Like, I've messed up. She was like, well, I can't help you. I'm like, what? I'm like, really? She was like, you've got yourself in this position. Get yourself out of it. I was like, okay. She messages her mum, her mum's like, nah, love, no. And I was like, okay, at least my mum ain't the only savage one. We're messaging our friends, like, listen, we've got nowhere to stay, da. In the end, we found a little doorman, and we stayed. It was mixed as well. There was like Russian men on the bunk bed above me. There was a Spanish man opposite me. Like, I am a young 16-year-old girl sharing a mixed doorman with loads of like people from around the world. It's really cool though. I would not like do it any other way. I'm so glad I done it that way. The toilet stank too. It was horrible. But that was the most spontaneous thing I'd done. I had a dry mouth the whole time because, you know, saving the pennies, couldn't even buy a drink. That's how skint I done it. Sneaking on the trams, everyone looking at me, I was just like, oh, I don't know, I'm sorry. But I had a cracking time sneaking on the trams and yeah, making like one drink last me all day. But it was amazing, and I can say I've done it. So yeah, that was the most spontaneous thing I've done, and probably very reckless too. My creative process to making music would have to be going through pain. So I got to experience something first in order to release and get it out. So I'll go through something, good or bad. It don't just have to be pain, but pain is my main motivator, if I'm honest. But my creative process will start with me having that experience and then reflecting on that experience. And then I'll do I'll find a little spot. So I'm a nature bug, so I'll sit under a tree, start writing. Sometimes it's mainly in my bedroom as well. Do you know when you're on a depressing deep one, you sat in bed and then I'm like, let it out, girl, let it out. So yeah, it goes from that to a little quick voice note to get the melody so I don't lose it, because there's nothing worse than writing something, going back and then you're trying to say it and you're like, how did I say this? So I'll voice note the producers or whoever's I'm thinking to bring in on this creative idea. And then we'll just set a date for the studio. We'll start create the content around that, get the team together, storyboards, and yeah, then you got your finished masterpiece in the end, and you just look back and you're like, wow, all this come from that little breakdown I was having in the house to this beautiful masterpiece in the end.